Good morning again, Matthew.
Good morning.
So to pick up what we were talking about, Five Guys, your impression.
I mean, again, it's been a while. It seemed real greasy when I had it, and not really my jam. So
So being a Saint,
people love it. No people love it, but
being someone who was born and raised in St. Cloud, what is your opinion on Val's?
Val's is great.
I felt like Five Guys. So in the town I grew up in, there was a burger place. Was so we had like Sonic and all that stuff. Even though I mean we're not, it wasn't a big town, but there was a bomb and pop. Um, uh, oh hey, taking back the woos. Super Spike. Good morning. So there was a car hop burger place called King's.
Okay.
Same family had owned it like through two generations, I want to say. Now they're in their third. And it was like one of those places you drove up. And um, to me, Val's and King's are very similar. You can tell that it's like regular people making your food.
Yeah.
Like, not like being cut by a machine. And I feel like Five Guys tries real hard to be um, a a version of that can mass produce. Does that make any
Yeah.
sense? It's like we're not like those other guys. We ain't like Burger King. We ain't like
Yeah.
McDonald's. We're like your buddies. And it's like, but you're not. You're like
It's not. Yeah. Yeah. It just isn't. I don't know. I mean,
it
again,
wasn't bad.
I wasn't impressed enough to ever like really go back. So
Maybe, yeah. I mean,
maybe there's something there. Maybe there's not. But
my burger was okay. Yeah, we ain't like those other guys. There's five of us. Well said. Um, I had one of the hot dogs, and I love a hot dog. And
I didn't usually did. Yeah. I've
I
only ever had a burger there.
they split them,
Oh.
so they're like basically grilled on every side, like including the middle. But it was like falling apart, and of course I got dressed like a Chicago dog, sans
Sure.
tomato. Um, but they also didn't have sport pepper, so with jalapenos, they don't have celery salt, and they don't have poppy seed bun. Um, but everything else pretty much the same. The relish is not radioactive Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle green, but you know you can't. Not everything can be perfect. Hot dog, pretty good. Not bad. Not bad. I mean, I'm no ordinary sausage, so I feel like my judgment of sausages and hot dogs is the layman's rather than expert level.
Sure.
But decent. The burger, it wasn't bad. Like you said, it was super greasy. Um, but I was able to throw all kinds of shit on it, which
Okay.
you know, grilled onions and jalapenos. They had really good, like their jalapenos were like real fresh jalapenos, no pickled. They were really crisp. They were cut like the perfect size. So it was pretty good. Little sloppy boy. The fries I thought were okay.
Yeah, and that was the other thing too. It's like if you
They were
can't,
they were
if you,
floppy boys.
yeah, if you're not nailing the fries as a like a fast food place like that, then it's like, what are you doing?
Also, when you give, when you basically just dump them in the bag a la Val's,
Sure.
I mean, Val's does it and it's like, oh yeah, this is what I'm talking about. I literally
Right.
have a bag of fries and the fries are good.
The
Like
fries.
Val's is somewhere I will go back to. Um, Five Guys, it was just like the floppy boys.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't necessarily mind a floppy fry if it's done well, but yeah, I don't know. I just need to. I could try Five Guys again, but there's other like even though like I know it's objectively not good, like I know what I'm getting at Burger King and I like what I get there. So it's just
That
like
you no shame. I love Burger King.
all
No
right,
shame.
why would I go pay more at Five Guys, and
For
I'm
a
not
greasy burger,
I
which a
don't feel like
greasy burger
yeah,
has its place,
I don't feel
but
like I'm getting a better, meal.
the flame broiled,
Yes.
that frozen patty
Something about it.
just
It works.
seared to perfection on a conveyor belt. Yeah, I like Burger King. I don't give a shit. I like it. So Five Guys, C plus, B minus ish. Super spike. The flop is strong. Um, Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was something where I was like, oh, I'm glad I tried it because everyone kept saying, how have you not had this? Oh my god.
And it is. It's one of those deals where everybody's like, "Oh man, this is so great," and I'm like, "No, it's fine."
Yeah, it's kind of like Shake Shack, same thing. People are like, how have you ever? Oh my god.
I
It's
don't
like
know if I've ever had Shake Stack. I've Shake Shack. I've had Steak and Shake,
Steak and Shake, yes.
and Steak and Shake is also fine.
Yeah, it's not great. It's just like,
Yeah,
oh, this is okay.
yeah. Here's some food. um,
Here's your meat leavings.
yeah, yeah. There's just this is one of those things that people are all about that I just
God damn it, Matt.
haven't grokked onto. Like in
It's
everybody
fair.
was like, "Man, Angelina Jolie's so hot." I'm like, "Yeah, fine, whatever." Like you do
I
you.
don't think she's as hot as Minnie Driver was, or even is. Oh, I like Minnie Driver when she wasn't like super skinny, when it made her look like a bobblehead. Like,
Not into the bobblehead look. All right.
like, like Apex Minnie Driver is Gross Point Blank, which is a highly underrated movie.
Well, yeah, Shay, you can't compare chains to hole in the walls. I mean, you can.
Freddy's is still pretty good. Portillo's is one of I like Portillo's.
I went to Portillo's once when I was out in Illinois, and again, it was fine.
But what I've heard about people from Illinois, especially Chicagoans, Portillo's is not indicative of
Oh no, no.
Ordinary. If I talk about ordinary sausage all the time, ordinary sausage was like, fine, cowards, I'll do Portillo's on Sausage Quest, and he did it, and he was like, maybe serviceable. This is not anything great. He does watch Ordinary Sausage. First of all, it's real short. There's tons of them, and some of them are super funny. Some of them are just okay funny. But Sausage Quest to me is like him just going around Chicago and going to sausage places, hot dog places, and then he rates them. He went to a place earlier this week on an episode, and he gave it like a 9.5, which is crazy high. He was like, these sausages like literally will change your life. They're life-changing sausage. So yeah, if I plug anything, Ordinary Sausage on YouTube. Also, I find him to be very funny and his extremely stereotypical Chicagoan accent. So yeah. We had a walk yesterday. That was pretty good, huh?
Sure.
I
enjoyed
Matt,
it.
you have to remind me. Did you go to Chicago in Chicago with us?
No.
Okay. That's how to me, I have imprinted you into these things, Matt. Like I was there, right? Like the last time I went, we had I want to say it was Cuban food by the venue, like 5 or 6 blocks from the venue. It was amazing. It was so good. And you're right, Shaggy. It was a hole in the wall restaurant, and it was fucking great. Like I would have been like, just take all my money. Just continue to bring me food forever. Hole in the wall places, except for places like Doug said that his parents took him to over the weekend in Iowa in his hometown, which he was like, this is the worst food I fucking had in a long time. And his mom was like, this is the best. He was like,
yeah, I remember my dad, like when Danny and I went and visited my dad, he's like, oh, there's this place we got to go. And I can't remember what kind of steak it was they did. And he's like, oh, this steak is so good. You got to get that. And we're like, all right, so we got it. And it was fucking terrible. Just undercooked and no flavor. Just this big, I don't know. Like, oh, it was awful. Awful.
I've been lucky.
And we're like, this is not good. And he's like, well, I never had it.
God damn it. That's the best. You're like, you food tricked me into a food crime, Dad.
Why did you fucking recommend it? He's like, everybody I know says it's great. And I'm like,
oh, yeah, that's bullshit. That's messed up, man.
Yeah, it's like, no.
I'd see Super Spike. Yeah, it's funny because I know Doug was there for that trip. I know David was there and James was there. All these people, I'm like, Matt, you just get like superimposed into these like memories now. Like, oh, Matt was there. So yeah, that's why I was like, you were there for that, right?
No.
Oh, Shaggy, have a good one, man. Enjoy the hockey.
Yes, enjoy.
Um, so yeah, I've been lucky about on that front, and maybe it's because you can't. I mean, in my eyes, it's really hard to fuck up fried chicken. But whenever I go south to see Familia, there's a lot of like really good fried chicken places. There's actually 2 restaurants, and I wouldn't call them chains, but there's maybe 5 of each all around this area. One's called Chicken Mary's and one called Chicken Annie's. And they literally, their first restaurants across the street from each other. And there is like a blood feud. They're fucking both good, people. I don't even remember the name of the restaurant in Bronson because everyone calls it Bronson. It's a town about.
That's like the who originated the Juicy Lucy. It's like, who cares?
Yeah, you're both good.
You're
ladies, you're both pretty.
Yeah.
Boys are both handsome.
Mm-hmm.
Non-gender folks, you're beautiful. You're simply beautiful. So like Bronson is like this 200 people town, and only reason to go there is because they have a chicken restaurant, which is like a 2-story house converted into a fucking restaurant, which is real good, and it's only about a 20-minute drive. So we would always go there. There's a place in Gas City, which literally you can go 1 block from my town and you're in Gas City, which apparently was at one point the seat of the county, and then my town's people stole the seat, like literally stole the seat. Fucking back in the day, just being dickheads.
Yeah.
Bonnie's Chicken, it's just a fucking, again, a house turned into a restaurant, and their chicken's great, and their Suzy Q's and gizzards and livers and all that, they're fucking amazing. We would drive, the 7 minutes to just get those. It'd be a fight between my siblings and myself who got to ride with Dad to go get it, because you knew Dad was going to order an extra box of Suzy Q's and probably an extra box of gizzards and or livers just to eat on the way home. And then he would take the long way home.
Nice.
And then, as Cassandra will attest, you go to Pittsburgh, which is where I was born, Pittsburgh, Kansas, where Pitt State is, which is a Division II football fucking juggernaut. I think when I was in high school, they won the national title 3 years when my cousin was playing there. And one of my favorite memories is going to see them play NDSU in the title game. Or no, the semifinal game, in like a quadruple overtime game, where NDSU thought they won and they rushed the field only to see that their touchdown got stopped. And then the Pitt State rushed the field, and it was just a fucking flood of red and gold. Also, their mascot is a gorilla, which is wild.
You don't see a lot of gorilla mascots.
They have a giant concrete gorilla in front of their stadium. I mean, it's like Kong size. Anyway, Pitt State. My dad and my mom both got one of their undergrads from there, so there was always a big thing in my house. Anyway, in Pittsburgh, again, it's one of those things where you can throw a rock and you're in a town called Frontenac. And the main difference is Pittsburgh was settled primarily by Italians.
Okay.
To the point where my dad was starting his law enforcement career in Pittsburgh with his cousin. There was a list on the wall back. I mean, this is like 70s, and they would keep a list of like the FBI's most wanted. And some of the people on that most wanted you'd see in Pittsburgh because they were mafia people who were coming to visit family. And they knew they wouldn't be touched because some of the family would be on the local law enforcement. And then you go to Frontenac, and Frontenac was primarily, trying to remember, Girard was almost all Polish, which was another 10 minutes away, and Frontenac, Serbian, I want to say. So these are mining towns, were mining towns, and so they were extremely segregated. Because I mean, the only reason Frontenac exists is because the Italians didn't want the Serbians or the Croatians or Yugoslavians of some type in Pittsburgh. And it's only called Pittsburgh because of the pit mining is what they did. So in between Frontenac and Pittsburgh, further out in the country, there's an old mining house, and in that mining house, it's a place called Gebhardt's. Right? You know what? I think Frontenac is German. That's what. No, yeah, Frontenac was settled by Germans.
Okay.
And it's German fried chicken.
Oh.
So it's like this double thick battered fried chicken. It's like the best fried chicken you'll ever have. It's dirt cheap. Like my mom, my brother, my sister-in-law, my nephew, my wife, and I had food we had to take home, and for all of us to eat, I think we spent $40.
Wow.
It was ridiculous. Yeah, it all comes back to chicken. Thank you, Super Spike. But it's all hole in the wall. It looks like a fucking house straight out of like a horror movie. Like you're driving up a dirt road and there's a house. Doesn't look special. It's not like it's, looks like a restaurant, or it's an old house they made to look like a restaurant. It's an old house. It's an old mining house converted into a restaurant. Like in the interior, looks like it's from 68, 69, sure. 70 when you walk in. But you could smell it coming up that road. And when you smell it, you're like, I'm in for something special. And you truly are. So all the food's good there. I don't know. How do we get talking about this? We got to talk about food tricks.
We were talking about Five Guys.
Yeah.
Because
it's all clucks.
Tell me what you did yesterday.
But what I'm saying is, like, I've been lucky. I haven't had any food tricks played on me by Familia. So I'm very lucky that way. It's weird. I think small towns, by and large, when the food that I like generally is done by people who are actually good at making the food.
Yes.
So like we have a bunch of Mexican restaurants because Humboldt, which is 7 miles away from Iola, is like 85-90% Hispanic. Again, the wonderful world of forming your towns into small ethnic groups.
Sure.
And I have a large contingent of Hispanic members of my extended family, and I have a bunch of them live in Humboldt. There is a Mexican restaurant in Humboldt and a second restaurant by the same family in Iola, and they're both fucking outstanding. Like even the flan, I generally refrain from getting flan when it's not homemade.
Well, if I've ever had flan.
It's so good. Like when it's done well, it's real good. So yeah, like it's one of those things where you're like, this is what I'm talking about. Most time we don't have to do that because my Aunt Sylvia makes like the best fucking Mexican food. So we're just like, can we come over and eat? And she's like, I'll make a spread, and she like fills tables with food.
Nice.
So, food tricks. They're horrible. Food crime.
Yeah, don't do it.
Just don't do those food crimes. Matthew.
Yes.
I think I would like to do just a little Star Wars brainstorming maybe today.
Okay.
I've had really good Mexican in probably a couple months now, Super Spike. And there's a really good, in my opinion, a good place down the road in Crystal. There's an El Loro, and I feel like they've got pretty good Mexican food. I like. I know there's a bunch in the metro. I don't know if they're all owned by the same family or what, but
there's a number of El Loros. Yeah, we went to just a local Mexican place on Friday.
Oh, what'd you have?
I just got some tacos and rice. I always like. There's a lot of great stuff on their menu, but I'm always kind of just like, shit. What do I want? So yeah, we just got margaritas and I got tacos, and Danny got what the hell did Danny get? She got different style tacos. So, but they do their stuff is great. Just a little family spot, and yeah, good stuff.
James took me to an El Salvadorian place one day when we were like hanging out, and it was like, hey, are you hungry? I was like, yeah. He's like, I know this El Salvadorian place. We went, and I was like, this place is fucking great. It was so great. Just like he had a good wings place too up here where we would go. It's got a really weird name too. It's like Pitties or something like that. Or we go in, it's like, oh, it's like 40 wings for like $30.
I saw a picture online recently of a place that had a wing menu, and it was literally the pricing for like individual wing quantities up to $99. So it was like one wing, 75 cents, 2 wings, and so on, all the way up to like 100.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay.
I like a good wing.
Break that down to some categories, but
I like a good wing quite a bit.
Oh yeah.
But I think it's also wings have gotten real expensive. Oh, by the way, I got the belt on. He does look better with the belt.
Yes, he does. That looks good. I'm
Also,
glad it worked.
Thank you. Also, I'm working on this. I'm trying to figure out how I want to finish it. I think it's turning out really well. I'm gonna have to repaint the face to match the skin tone.
Yeah, it's coming along though.
Yeah, I feel like the Korg thing looks really good because it like makes it look like there's way more hair.
Yeah.
Anyway, also I was thinking I kind of want to do maybe find a system because I'm not a big. So there's that Umdar system. Let me see if I grab it really quick.
Yeah.
Since we're just kind of bullshitting because I didn't know I have a super big plan today. Because I thought we'd have another episode of working on Colin's thing, but we kind of we deal in lead, but we kind of sorted it out last time, which was good. And also I was like, hey, I kind of want to play in this, so I don't want you to give too much away. So like when you feel we've got the framework, let's take it stop. Oh, super spike. Oh. I think simple is usually best. And again, my dumb opinion, but
no, it's there was. I mean, I don't know if you were in St. Cloud at the time. Did you ever do Taco Bill's?
Yes.
Oh, I missed that.
Taco Bill's was good. It was solid.
Yeah.
St. Cloud had some solid places for a while.
Yeah. That's all the chains.
Wow.
At least last time I was there and cared to look.
I tend to not want to go.
Yeah.
Too far out into the world of St. Cloud.
That is fair.
Because all I can think of really is every time I say St. Cloud is Augustus St. Cloud. Eat the pennies, quiz boy. Eat the pennies. Maybe I will give it. I don't know. It's a fate system, and I'm not super familiar with fate. But I kind of want to do like a thing in Motu, but like put it in pre-Eternia and call it like Warlords of Antwat Gar. And like do something where you've got the whole thing with the Gar trying to survive in a world that wants to destroy them when they arrive because it like really wants their technology. Maybe I'll reread it. It's like 58 pages long. Maybe I will try to use this because I really want to use other systems more. I got away from doing that.
I mean, if you've got one that you're used to and works, then
yeah, I think I've gotten overly comfortable with it, and there's a lot of really good systems out there that I think I would be probably better served trying some of them.
Sure.
So maybe we'll potentially fiddle with that. Anyway, back to Star Wars. So, based upon our conversations and based upon my predilection for wanting to do something with like prisoner style, MK Ultra style stuff, I had this idea that because I was watching a thing on like hidden Imperial places like that were doing things during the reign of the Empire.
Okay.
And like Mount Tantus and a bunch of places like that.
Yeah.
So I thought about like what if the Empire had a hearts and minds program basically where they were trying to figure out ways to brainwash people and do like more propaganda work in order to disseminate even further develop sleeper agents, you know, in order to try to find, in some ways, try to find ways of winning without military might. So I thought about, oh, I want to call it something. So I looked up different words in Sith, and I found the word COTS, which means to break. So the COTS program, because I also thought about the Maw installation, which I think was in a Legends book, which was like in the Maw, so in the Galactic Core, which was a place where they were working on all this shit, and they never even knew the war ended because they were so isolated. Which also has like some parallels to like World War II and their island outposts of the Japanese who never knew the war ended,
right?
Because they were so isolated. I kind of like this idea that the Empire has these places, and I like the idea of it being one of those things where maybe our intrepid cell is fed information about it, and they have to go there or infiltrate it even. So something to kind of think about. And so like I want to brainstorm is like, what do they do there? So they're not doing weapon development.
Okay.
So what are they doing in a place like this? What do they do with those wonderful toys?
What would they be trying to do?
Space Banjo, yes.
So there was a bit. I know
you got a pretty manifesto there.
I know you haven't watched it yet, but there's a bit in Andor where they have a machine that like the scientist guy is like, oh, this replicates the screech of such and such animal, and it will like it basically drives you insane. It's they use it to torture information out of people because the sound of this thing just messes you up. So I mean, that's borderline weapon, but I guess it's not at the point where you could really just like go and deploy it on the field. So
No, I think it's one of those things though where you want to have those type of things there. I mean, so it's recognized how horrible it is.
right.
So I'm pulling up Wikipedia and just looking at torture. God, there's a lot of entries, which is kind of depressing. There's the Imperial Inquisitor Malorum, which is like the imperial rule for torture, I guess, is like the Imperial Inquisition. This is a joint operation between the Imperial Inquisition and Compnor. To go back and read some more about this. I'm trying to think like, so what are they looking for there, do you think? And what kind of format? Because I was thinking like, I know we've talked about it before, and you were talking about you gave me that Marvel book to read where it was like very much in the vein of The Prisoner as well.
Yeah.
So my thought is they have multiple things going on there. They've got reconditioning.
Reconditioning, at least part of this is the island.
Yeah, the village.
Yeah, the village. Yeah.
So
they want to bring people in to get information out of them.
What do you want? Information. By hook or by crook, we'll get it.
And is it specific information, or just are they? I mean, and it's never made super clear at The Prisoner where like what they want. Just it's like we just want to know what you know.
Yep.
So
And then what was the? Is it Tahiti where they keep the whole shield thing with Coulson? We send him to Tahiti.
oh, it's not Tahiti, but yes, you're thinking of the we're thinking. Yeah, I'm on the same page with you. Maybe it is Tahiti. I'm blanking, but so they once they get what they want, they send you out, but you just don't remember, or
Mm-hmm. We would basically call like, and we'll rename these to Star Wars things.
sure.
I just want to kind of. This I think would be reconditioning and release program for those who have been fully interrogated successfully. Yes, Tahiti. Thank you, Super Spike.
Okay, it was Tahiti. All right.
Tahiti is a magical place.
I just couldn't remember.
I couldn't either. It was like I thought it was something like that. Tahiti kept popping in my head. How do I want to put this? The facade built into the installation to appear to be a normal facility, all housed there are being slowly broken down to obtain and all information. So I'm thinking about this too, and mixing a little bit of paranoia into it,
Okay.
where it's like paranoia's almost got a little bit of like a Judge Dredd, like Hive City. No, it's not called Hive City. Block War type thing, where everything's very vertical, and you live in these like, small cramped corridors, and it's like Big Brother is constantly there. It's, I wish someone would run Paranoia for me, because I have no interest in running it, but I love it. Not played Red Dead Redemption, either of those games, because I am not a huge. I like a very specific type of game. That's probably evidenced by me being bad at those types of games. I would assume they also are doing like gosh, like Manchurian Candidate type of. I can't remember what you do that to someone. Sleeper agent work.
Yeah,
So,
the sleeper agent. Yeah. So yeah, creating sleepers, that makes sense.
I think 4 things is pretty good. So, what is a good word for village? Star Wars words for village. Village. Oh, colony. That's easy. Wow, that was simple.
That works. Yeah.
Um, good vacation planet. Not planets we'd like to visit. It's the vacation planets, guys. I don't think of Hoth as a vacation planet.
No.
Oh, Namos? Nymos? Wasn't that in Andor?
Might have been, yeah.
Let's use Nymos.
Okay.
Because apparently it's basically kind of Las Vegas. Introduced in last year's Andor, Nymos isn't anybody's favorite vacation planet, but it's got a certain spring break or laying low after pulling off a huge heist sort of charm. It's built right up on the water in a way that also reminds us of the Jersey Shore. So I'd say there's a better than good chance that those buildings are a mixture of mediocre restaurants, questionable clubs, and casinos that are moments away from experiencing bankruptcy. Sounds good. Or Cantonica. It's a gambling place. Maybe it was in like the sequel trilogy, because it looks kind of like that's a sequel trilogy spot. It's also known as Canto Blight.
Canto Bite is, yeah, that's from Rise of Skywalker, I think. Or no, the second one.
Everyone lists Scarif as a place to go, and it's like, really? Really? Okay. I mean, it's pretty, but I mean, it was pretty for a while until it wasn't there anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, should we go with Namos or Canto Blight? What do you think sounds better?
I think Canto Bite is better known, but I don't know if that necessarily.
No, I think if it's better than no, let's go with that. HIT. Yep. I think I just spelled something else and that came out of my mouth. Anyway. So I think like this is probably pretty good. I'm okay with this. That was a good, like, to me this has legs.
Yeah.
All right. Well, since we're
Dig it.
futzing around for a little bit longer, let's kind of jam for a second. A little impromptu jam session. I think I just spelled Antoine correct.
That I think it's just there's no T at the beginning. It's just the one T at the end.
And what? Why do I keep want to say Antoine? And what? Okay. So let's go pre-Eternia. What do we know about pre-Eternia and Whatgar? You know, it was mentioned in the 2000X series. There was a whole episode about Anwar because
Yes.
Cyclone was in it. But can you give me a little more information on actual Anwar?
Let's see. So it's an island, apparently.
Yeah. Was it always an island? I can't remember if it was once attached to or turning to the
The mainland.
mainland proper.
Doesn't seem to be.
I can never remember if it was always there or not. Huh.
I mean, I suppose it's your world. You can do whatever you like.
That's true. That's very true. Oh my God! Someone has a page called "I Think I'm Cyclone Now." I'm like, you are a beautiful human being. That's top notch work there, my friend. Thank you. Well, my thought is, Mitch, I don't disagree with you at all. I think your opinion is the same opinion I have on that. So I'm glad to feel like I'm not alone. So let's make this pretty simple to start off with. Anwar Gar is currently a archipelago.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you either, Mitch. That the design of the 2000X one is just more interesting to me. Character wise, I really don't have any you know, strong attachment to either. But I never did watch all of the 2000X series and haven't watched barely.
You haven't ever seen all of that?
No, I started watching it at one point and then just kind of lost my
it's completely worth watching. I have the DVD set.
I like a lot of what it added to the brand, and I love those figures. Ugh. But it just I didn't have really a chance to watch it at the time, and then
I think I caught bits and pieces of it at the time, but it was more one of those things where I got very fascinated by it once I was like, oh shit, this exists.
Yeah.
So I was like, I really need to look at this. Um, also, question if anyone else would know this because I don't think I do. Is Cronus a Gar or is he something else? I've never been able to figure that out.
He's something else as far as any like most of the lore.
Is he like a galactic criminal? Someone like
Yeah,
escaped
he's
to Eternia?
some other.
Because his skin color is just darker color of Skeletor's.
Yes.
Which I've always found like, okay, well, are they like just?
Yeah, he's from another dimension.
Oh, the other dimension.
Another
dimension, another dimension, another dimension, another dimension.
Depending on the like, I don't know that he's so that's his mini comic origin. I would say depending on the
that's mini comic. He's bright fucking green.
Yes. So I think it would depend on like I don't think he couldn't be Gar, but I don't think he's ever been established.
That's Gar.
Yeah.
That's fair. I'm always curious about. I'm sure it's stuff where people who work on who work on Motu stuff were like, I mean, whatever.
Sure. Yeah. Let's.
Why are you asking this? I mean, I don't know. I just want to know, guy.
Yeah.
Like it's never been established. I have weird questions. I'm a weirdo.
I am surprised that they've never, said one way or the other there. But, I guess nobody wants to make that call.
But I mean, again, it's a weird ass question to ask. It's not like it's like, oh man, that's a question we've had our mind on for some time. It's like, oh, okay, cool. Tell me about your answers. But instead it's like, what? No, guy, no, just stop.
I do think it was interesting that they did establish Cyclone as Gar, because I don't know that Gar was a thing even in the original series.
I don't think it was either. I think it was okay. So like, this is what I want to be the picture though. Once I figure this game out, because this picture is fucking beautiful.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay. Anyway, back to what I'm doing here. All right. So where's Gar here? Can you see this map, by the way?
I can. Not super. It might not be on there.
That's weird. Why not? Huh. Okay.
Because if that's Eternia established by the original
pre-Eternia, would it be this up here? And this terrible map that I have? Or would it be this down here? There's got to be a better map out there that's more readable. So just go through, and my search history, I imagine, is amazing too. If anyone ever looked at it, they're like, "What? Star Wars torture? Pre-Eternia?" Oh, I found a really good one.
Not seeing. Oh yeah, That's the Here you go. I'll pop this in the.
I found some good ones. I'm just saving them real quick.
Okay, yeah, that's the same one that I saw. Yeah, it is. Onward is up at the top there.
Okay, that's what I thought. So let's get out this boy and let's grab this boy. And yeah, because they were a race that came to Eternia.
Yes.
They're not originally from Eternia. Okay, let's grab that super good looking map. That's a really pretty map. So my idea is that it originally was an archipelago at one point that got separated. I'm trying to, or maybe it was just. What if this little area between Anwar and Pirate Cove was like a shallow sea? So every so often it would just be dry and people could cross it.
No, that could work. Or if it's, let's see here.
I can't remember the name of the continent proper for. Is there even a name of the continent? There's not, is there? It's just
Preternia, yeah.
Of course, the body of water is not named unless it's just more of the ocean of time.
Yeah, it doesn't specifically say. Now, in the episode, it was the they called it the Ocean of Gnarl, I believe it was.
GNRAL.
Yes, the Ocean of Gnarl, which is interesting because if you look at the Preternia map, the mountains of Gnarl are completely on the other side. But that doesn't mean a whole lot.
Do we know who lived in the Great Jungle? Is that where a big gorilla guy lived?
Yes.
What is his name again?
So here's another map that has the post separation. Let's see if I can find a better copy of that.
Axe apparently. Oh, I like the idea that freezes, but there's something like biblical, I guess, about it receding to the point of crossing that.
Yeah.
He-Man's mom.
Yeah, so in the post separation, it's actually just like north of, at least on this map, of Castle Grayskull, like northwest of Castle Grayskull, on the other side of the forest there, which I can't quite. Every scan of this map is garbage.
There's Castle Grayskull right there. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So it is still north.
Yeah. So it's still roughly.
There's mountains in Norrell are right there.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, if you're going Preternia area, then you're covered.
Okay. Who is Gorilla Guy? He killed like Vicor, right? He killed one of those guys, like one of those Preternian He-Man. He like ripped him in half or some shit.
Gygor. And let's see here. He killed Vicron.
Is that Preternia or is that after Preternia? That's after Preternia, isn't it?
Yeah, it's after the Great Unrest. Yeah. So he was
The Great Unrest. Okay, I'm trying to remember. Great Unrest was dude with the gem that makes him ripped, right?
Great Unrest.
Because that's where Keldor and Randor fought against Marzo. Marzo is the guy who.
But it's also when Keldor was driven behind the Mystic Wall.
Oh, okay. I thought that was after the Great Unrest.
Yes, but it's like part of the same.
That's after they defeat Marzo, because that's when they return and somehow their mother dies in Keldor's arms and Randor thinks he did it. I didn't know. I take it back. It's played off like he wants to maybe figure out what happened, but because Keldor's Gar, he freaks out because he's like, they're going to use this to kill me.
Mm.
And he also sees it as like, oh, you're using this to take the throne away from me. I didn't kill our mother, but you're going to make sure that I don't, even though I'm firstborn, I don't get the throne of Eternia.
Yeah.
Because I'm Gar. Do we know what Gygor's like? Anything about Gygor?
He is the Lord of the Vine Jungle, so he leads an army of beastmen. He was eventually defeated by Ular and the goddess and put into suspended animation. He was a.
So he never got offed?
He did eventually, at least, and this is the classics bio. So eventually he does get killed by Skeletor.
Oh, dumb. Why did Skeletor kill him? He's such a cool guy.
He joined forces with the Horde.
Oh,
but
okay. Well.
So he rose to prominence in the gladiatorial arena of Lord Cholo.
It's a hell of a name you got there.
Yep.
Not gross at all. Yeah, I know. I remember he killed Vicron. So Vicor and Vicron, they're like brothers or something. I can't even remember.
I don't even know if they're related. Honestly,
I thought they were like around at the same time, and then Ular was like the replacement. I wish it was like easier things to like see the like here's the He-Man timeline,
yeah,
proper, and like here's when different champions of Grayskull were around. Who were these fools?
Let's see here. Yeah, I don't. Vicron was just like a gladiator.
He wasn't like part of the Power of He type of thing.
No, he just a gladiator who.
He just had the iconography.
Yeah, because he was the kind of a prototype. You know, he was based on the prototype He-Man, where they're like, oh, we're going to give him different.
Which apparently they're making him in Masterverse.
That's what I've heard, and I've got the. I've got the.
I love that figure. I mean I love like the different armors and everything. I love the idea of it. So that's interesting.
Because Vicor was a He-Man.
Yeah. But he was like a He-Man like my boy Wundar was, where it was like I'm like an Ular. I'm like He-Man in name, but I don't like have the power sword or anything like that. Correct? Because I know Ular, I don't think ever had the power sword, and I know that Wundar didn't.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's got any. So he was chosen to protect the sword of He,
but he never wielded it.
Never wielded it. Yeah,
which I love. I like the idea, like you're worthy to protect it, but you're not worthy to wield it.
Yeah,
which is interesting because it's like, oh shit, like this is a true artifact that you can be powerful enough to protect it from those who are powerful enough to take it, but you are not.
You're not. Yeah,
you're not supposed to wield it. Like I love that. Like that's to me a very, very, very interesting thing. All right. So do we know about who ruled the Great Jungle during Pre-Eternia?
It looks like, let's see here.
Because this would have been when the Snake Men are basically at their apex. Although I really, really, really wanted to use Gygor, but maybe I can find a different giant ape man.
The Vine Jungle,
which is the Great Jungle in Pre-Eternia, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know that it was, the Beastmen, live there. But yeah, it doesn't seem to be anything. And then Gygor was, let's see, maybe there's some information with Ular about it.
I think that's all after
but it's
the
not
Great Wars.
You get
granted. Now I want to point this out. We're playing with multiverse here.
Yeah.
So we can do whatever we want.
Yes.
But one reason I wanted to do this is because I have all these Motu characters that we've thrown together with parts, and I kind of want to use them.
Do something with them, yeah.
I want to be like, oh, this guy was around at this time, and it's silliness, but I want to be silly. Oh, by the way, I don't know if I showed you this.
Oh, let me see here. Oh, nice. Is that one of those Action Force?
Yeah, this head on this body is fucking great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I want to paint the brown this same kind of gunmetal gray, and then I kind of think I might go in on some of the raised portions of these wings and do the same.
Nice.
But yeah, I kind of want to do some Preternia stuff, because does this not scream Preternia to you?
Oh yeah, that's very, yeah.
To me, I want to be like, okay, the Gar are stuck on two sides of. That we have Gars who have a colony over in this part on the mainland of Pre-Eternia. They've gotten stuck there, so they've gone, for lack of a better term, they've gone native.
Okay,
and that's where you get these barbarian Gar, kind of like in the comics the Atlanteans who follow Atuma. That they're basically barbarians. They're like, oh no.
Yeah, they're just.
Also, I want to point something out. Two things, actually. Who ever thought Chuck Austin was a good writer?
Enough editors that he got a lot of work.
I picked up his Once an Invader trade paperback because I didn't realize he wrote it.
Oh,
and I like Scott Collins' art. Yeah. I feel like those Invaders, there was something they could have done there.
Oh yeah,
but Chuck Austin's terrible.
He's not great. No,
he's not good at all. And
that era. I mean, so the weird thing is, and I don't know what he's all up to these days, but he was involved with the Netflix She-Ra series.
Really? Well,
yeah.
I mean, that was great. I loved that series.
He turned himself around or whatever, but yeah, at that point in his career,
his X-Men stuff is not good. His Avengers stuff is awful. In my opinion, it might be, if you're a Chuck Austin fan out there, or if you're Chuck Austin, You may look at that stuff and go top notch, King, and I'm like, I disagree. Agree to disagree.
None of that stuff.
I think the ideas are solid. Like I love that idea of that invaders team being like an arm of a like covert part of the government that is out there doing some devious shit.
Yeah.
I do like that, but so which brings me to point two. I also picked up the first trade from Johns's Avengers run.
Okay.
First of all, I never noticed this about Gary Frank's art before, but God, Gary Franks loves to draw some gums and teeth. There's a lot of teethy, gummy smiles going on in this book. I don't hate it, but I don't necessarily like it.
Fair.
It's kind of a weird book, I guess. But there was a point in it that I'd forgotten about because I had the issues back before I got rid of my issues. Because I do enjoy Jeff Johns mostly, no matter what Alan Moore says about him. And also, fuck you, Alan Moore. Other people want to slob you, but I think you're a shit person. Overall, you're in that. You're kind of horrible. There's a moment where Namor breaks the table, and Cap's like, "You're going to pay for that. You owe me a table," or something to that effect. At the beginning of like the big first crisis in the book. And when that crisis is over, Namor comes back with this table that's like this epically beautiful Atlantean Avengers table, like Knights of the Round Table beautiful. And he said, here's the table. Here's the table. I'm giving this to you as a show of gratitude. And then Captain America is like, Namor, please just stick around, be an Avenger again. Show the world the Namor I know.
Yeah.
And Namor just looks at him, and it's a panel of Namor looking at him, Namor smiling, and then Namor laughing hysterically. And it's behind him, it's just ha 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 ha. And he slaps Cap on the shoulder and goes, "That's what I love about you, Captain. You make me laugh." And he flies away. And Wasp goes, "Well, I guess it's a no." And it's Cap like looking kind of like, "Oh man." It is such a great like Namor moment. And I love Namor, so to me, it's like this is Namor at his peak, like shittiness of like, yeah, we're buddies. Like I love too. Like there's this that run has like, I kind of feel like there's a lot of forced tension in some ways because they are playing up the whole Black Panther as Batman. Like,
yeah,
I've been doing a lot of stuff behind everyone's back thing, which is it's canon, but it more comes out as like, you know, you've been planning against us. You're having these clandestine meetings with Doom and all these things. And Stark is like being a complete prick about it. Thor is like, shows up, you know, kicks ass. And then like, this is mortal shit. I got to go be, you know, God King of Asgard or whatever. Like he's very much like not saying the normal Thor where he's like, "Hey buddies, I got to go do this. This is like my destiny, but I'm always here if you call." It's like, bye fuckers. Like there's some really weird characterizations in some of that, but the Cap as like Cap as leader and Cap's relationship with like some of the former invaders is great. It's really, really good, which made me wish that the Invaders book would have been good. And I love the idea of John Walker like stepping into that role as the field leader of the Invaders. And you know, that John Walker is interested. Like Cap says it. One of the things is he's not a bad person. He's too invested in putting American politics and worldview ahead of everything else. He is purely a soldier with no he's a nationalistic soldier, I believe is what he calls him. And he goes, there's a place for that in the world, but not in leadership, and certainly not wearing that uniform. I like that. Like that to me is cool. And I like Blazing Skull as a guy who can't die and has basically fucking lost it completely.
Yes.
Because that he wants to die. He keeps telling him like, shoot me in the head. Just shoot me in the head. Maybe that'll work. Just like do it. You know, I like some of the characters in that. I don't care much for like how Spitfire is portrayed, but I think they don't get those characters like her and Union Jack right until MI13 when Paul Cornell takes
Yeah.
over. But I also think I think you need a more of a British voice for some of those British heroes. Also, someone pointed out in a thing I was watching, Blade is British. People like to forget that.
They do.
That yeah, there's something there.
Yeah, the Union Jack miniseries that Christos Gage wrote
Yeah.
was really solid.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's a character that doesn't tend to, I love Union Jack, but yeah, there's a lot of stories with him where it's like, oh, you don't quite get him.
And the whole thing, why I kind of fell down the rabbit hole was I had watched a video on Dracula in the Marvel Universe.
Oh.
And I don't know if we talked about this yesterday, but they were reviewing three appearances of vampires, two of them Dracula, one of them was Baron Blood, and the Baron Blood one was in a Captain America issue, which I had, which was Byrne. Byrne did the art.
Maybe
I can't remember who was the main writer.
Yeah.
But there's a scene where Baron Blood thinks he snuck up on Cap while Cap's sleeping, and when he dives to bite his neck, Cap just lifts his shield and he smashes into it. He's like, "Oh, I've been waiting for you." And then Baron Blood thralls Cap, and when he gets ready to bite his neck, he doesn't realize that Cap's suit is actual armor.
Yeah.
And he breaks one of his teeth on the armor, which is one of my favorite panels of all time. I just and the fact that Cap beheads him with his shield at the end also infinitely happy. And it's Byrne at peak Byrne art style where it's not too much cross hatching. It's just super clean, his Marvel team up stuff. It's perfect. It's a Nazi vampire coming back to kill invaders who took him out. And then Captain America curb stomping him. So it's got Spitfire, it's got the original Union Jack. It's so good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love that stuff too. I don't know how I got off on that tangent. So anyway, this is something I kind of want to return to maybe next week if you're down. Give us a week to kind of think about it a little bit.
Yeah.
And if you're interested, I'll put the whatchamacallit. That's not it. That's not it. Is this it? Is this it? No. Poopy buttholes. I'll put the Umdar book in. You probably have access to it, but I don't know if you would be interested in looking at it or not.
Yeah, I can take a look if I get a chance.
I can't find it. Oh, there it is. Sorry, I'm closing a bunch of stuff so I can actually get to it. It's 56 pages long. I do think I can't remember why I don't like the fate system, or why I think I don't like the fate system. I shouldn't say I don't like it when I'm not sure. But I'll put a copy of this in the prep school folder. I'll make a folder for Warlords of and Watgar. Sheesh. Matthew, what do you got going on?
Here most Sundays. We'll plan to be back on Dave's channel on Tuesday. Mental health permitting. It's been an interesting couple weeks, but that's the plan. So probably see people then. Otherwise, yeah, nothing too crazy.
Well, I know we've talked about it previously. We're all here for you, buddy. And whatever you need, even if it's I need for you to shut the fuck up and I don't want to do anything, I'll be like, okay, cool.
Well, believe me, I'll let you know.
That was kind of frightening. Oh, believe me, I will let you know.
No, that's one of those things where I don't feel too I don't feel a lot of apprehension about it. I'm going to do what's best for me. So
you need to. I think
Yeah,
that's
I'm getting
extremely
on a good
important.
path here. Hopefully, things will continue in that direction and be where I
Yeah.
need to be.
And I think it's not always easy to get there. Um,
It'll take some time, but you know, on the path.
yeah. Um, God,
What do you
I was gonna ask you if you wanted to play some Minecraft, maybe.
We are going to go to the movies.
Oh, what are you gonna see at the movies?
I believe we've decided on the new Fast and the Furious, so we'll see how that is.
Are you a Fast and the Furious guy, Matt?
They're like, I wouldn't. I enjoy them. I enjoy them because they're ridiculous and dumb.
They are dumb. Like they're super
Yeah.
dumb.
So I'm curious to see where this one goes. So
Nothing
we
wrong with that.
are
I like some dumb shit too, man.
we were debating between that and Guardians, and Danny made the call on Fast, and I'm like, all right, that works for me. So
Yeah,
that's what we're gonna do.
do not apologize for
Oh no,
liking shit where you're like, oh god, are you gonna fucking harass me over this?
no, we we were skeptical, and then she listens to How Did This Get Made, and they love that series, and it is interesting.
I love how did this get made. So.
It is really interesting watching the progression, and as it just gets increasingly ridiculous and superpowers and all that stuff to start from where it started. So I'll be interested.
It's buck wild.
It
Is
really
what it
really
is.
yeah.
I mean,
No,
it's like some
it's
crazy shit. And then it's also like there's the running thing of like every time someone is a bad guy in a movie, they get to come back as a good guy.
yes.
Because I saw a poster, they're making another Hobbs and Shaw movie,
Are they?
and Idris Elba is in it, but he's in the car with them in like the picture, like he's like their buddy now. So I kind of feel like very much like the Sanchez line, you and he were buddies.
I didn't know they were doing another Hobbs and Shaw.
I didn't either. And then it just showed up in a thing like, hey, they're making another Hobbs and Shaw. And I was like, what? But I mean,
yeah, I guess it's apparently slated for sometime in the next couple of years here.
Also, I don't fully understand and maybe someone can explain it to me at some point, the whole abject hatred that Vin Diesel and The Rock have for one another.
It's
To the point where apparently there's a scene in the new movie where they shot, or they at least have it in such a way where it makes Vin Diesel look bigger than The Rock in some of it. And then when they actually are standing in a frame, like Rock is like humongous.
So. Yeah, he's a humongous man. I think it's part of his that they're just both humongous men, and also don't like want to. They're both very concerned about like the way they're being presented and perceived.
So would you define them as soft, beefy boys?
Oh, absolutely. Because there's actually stuff in the contract saying that they can't lose, which I'm like, that's dumb. That's
some Vince McMahon shit.
Yeah, you can't, and also like this is a movie, like, and Dwayne, you should know better, like that losing doesn't, ruin your character. It can enhance it. And also it's a movie, so you're probably going to win in the end anyway. So I don't get that. It's like, yeah, it's just but it's apparently in the contract that they.
So I've never been like Vin Diesel is a good egg. I've always been like Vin Diesel, you're a musclehead guy. Isn't it sad that Rock has turned out to be kind of a piece of shit?
It seems like it. Yeah, he's managed to burn through a lot of that goodwill.
I'm amazed. I was like, holy buckets, man! You've kind of turned out to be a real Vince.
Yeah. He learned. I don't know that I don't know that it'll pay off for him long run.
I don't think it will. I think
because I feel like being humble and whatever, somebody that people want to work with, like the all the shit around Black Adam or whatever. It's like, oh, that doesn't seem like a great idea, bud. Just like trying to force stuff to happen, and
it's a weird vibe. Like it's like, did you think this was gonna be like you were gonna be just like gonna run roughshod over people on this?
I think. I mean, yeah. I think he's pulling from the Hogan playbook, where it's like, well, I'm the biggest star, so I can just impose my will.
This ain't gonna work for me, brother.
Yeah, he's no yob.
No yob. Oh God, no yob. So good. Thank you, Matt. I didn't know someone was you were gonna be pulling out a no yob reference. Oh man, I want a no yob shirt. I just want like a luchador face on it that vaguely looks like Mil Mascaris, and it just says no yob underneath it.
I mean, you just go straight at Mil Mascaris, but
well, I don't want him to find out because I'm sure he will try to make money off that. But technically, he wasn't wrong. The hierarchy of power in the DC universe did change.
Yeah, it did. They're like, we're gonna let James Gunn run this stuff by.
Oh man. What a headache. What a just awful headache. So I've got Chaos Scar tomorrow night, the makeup game. We're sans Chris, because he already had plans. But we've got Zane and Ian and Joel and a open spot, which I don't know if I've put that out there. It's going to be an open spot, but I might. But it works pretty well because I've got a thing where I can drop Chris in. A reason why Chris's character isn't in the tomb, even though he was there. So I'm looking forward to that. It'll probably be a little shorter because it literally just is a dungeon crawl. And it is a dungeon, which I'll say here because I know nobody else watches this from that group. It is one of those, you will run into things in this dungeon that you are not equipped for level or gear wise. And if you try to just muscle your way through it, you're going to die. It is going to be some ugliness if they try to get cutesy with it, rather than just going, you know what, this maybe is a good point for us just to be like, not worth it. Cut our losses and win. Maybe we'll come back to this place when we're higher level. Which is something I do like about old school D&D is there were places where you're like, oh, we could totally bum rush this place. And there were places where you're like, we can look around, but we need to leave. We need to recognize this is a place we should not be hanging out.
Yeah.
But we'll see what they do. I mean, they wanted to do this, so this is not my fault.
Yeah, they'll have to decide what they're.
Yeah, they'll get learned real well.
Yeah.
But then next Friday is the thing I do on Fridays. What do we do on Fridays? Battle Games, yeah. Which, by the way, for those of you who tuned into Crafting Kids and those of you played on Crafting Kids last weekend, my nephews watched and they have not stopped talking about it since. So
nice.
I thought it was the coolest thing ever, which was nice to be able to do. And I thought that everyone who played and everyone who watched were great. So thank you. Also, Matt, I forgot to give you these, but they don't fit on anything I have. I might keep one and use it for Star Wars body, maybe. It's a really cool armor, but you might be getting the other one. I forgot to give it to you though.
All right.
I was just looking at my horrible mess on my desk. And then next Sunday prep school, where I will be doing Warlords of Anwatgar, not Antwatgar. I don't know why I keep wanting to say that, but and then hopefully in the future I can convince a Matthew who's feeling better to walk me through doing some Black Series modifications.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I would like to start getting the Scum and Villainy figures complete, so I can get a cool picture of them and then give them to the players. So that was kind of my goal all along. So without further ado, this has been Prep School with the Magnificent Matt Lind and your King Ginger, we hope to see you on Monday for Chaos Scars, even though it's a holiday, and then on Tuesday for over on the Dave Wonder channel, where David and maybe Matt will be doing some amazing work as they always do. Until then, taking Woo back 2023.